Oh, that's your line.
You can have it. Marc Lobliner, TigerFitness.com. The Olympia, brother. Recap. Our opinion on the Olympia. Both of us, even though I was in Vegas, I did not make the actual show. So I'm going off of pictures in the webcast.
Same here.
Everybody else is.
Yeah.
So I would just give you my opinion from what I saw. And even if you're at the show, unless you're in the front row like I was last year, I had to fly home. You really have to see it on the Giantron anyway.
Let me talk about the front row. I've been to several Olympias, and I've actually sat way in the very back, and I've zoomed in. I've looked at the Giantrons, and I've sat in the middle. The only real true perspective you have from the judge's perspective is at the judge's table.
Yep.
You cannot judge a show. I've seen so many comments about this guy.
Oh, feel this, feel that. He
yeah,
stepped forward.
Exactly.
Look, that angle he got, the judges saw right through that last when he was against Kai.
Or the pictures that are taken and posted. Marc may be flexed completely, and I may be getting ready to go into a flex. And
Totally different.
Way different.
Totally different when you hold everything in. So that's a disclaimer. However, I think we both agree. No one can argue that Phil did not win that fucking show.
I agree 100%.
Phil just fucking killed it.
He looked amazing.
I'm going to just go top 4 because that's the only contention I've seen. And then we're going to talk about Levrone a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk about my boy.
Top 4, I had Rami in second. Rami looked good. I thought he was second.
That's the latest he's ever come in.
I thought he was second. I had Rode in third, and I had
Sean.
Dexter.
And Dexter Jackson.
Fourth. That's what I had. Unfortunately, or whatever, it was Roden second. Again, it's not taking. I think Roden was I think he deserved second.
I think he came in harder than he's ever come in before as well.
It's nitpicky, but Rami's. I mean, that guy has Olympia potential. I think if he gives another couple years of training, he might be the guy who can beat Phil.
Yeah.
I saw it in him, man. He finally got a coach.
That was like the Nasser Dorian kind of situation.
But his waist was like this. I mean, that is an impressive motherfucker right there, that big Rami.
Yeah.
That's a big motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's a big. I thought he beat Phil in most poses, actually. But
I've seen some pictures, and I would agree.
Phil's shape is just stupid, though. Phil's insertions, he's 3D. You can't tell that from pictures, but as someone who's seen Phil up close,
in person,
Phil is just 3D. His muscles in person, pictures do Phil no justice.
Especially from the judges' table. Again, you guys are seeing pictures that were zoomed in from row XYZ 43. You know, zooming in.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think that so and so looked a little bit better. Phil, no, he didn't.
You didn't see it from the judges' table, so while judging shit does happen, at the Olympia it's a lot harder to do everything. It's all politics. I'm like, if it was all politics, I don't know if Roden would be in second because who the fuck's his sponsor?
Right.
Exactly. It's like, it is what it is. Now, Levrone. I was the first one of the first, not the first one, but I did a video on Levrone.
Let's go back to the 90s.
Oh, shit.
Let's go back a little bit. For some of you that don't know who he is, obviously there's been a buzz about him getting ready for the show. He was an Olympian contender for years
52
and years.
years old now.
Yeah, the uncrowned Mr. Olympia.
I think he won a couple of those years.
I think he did too. He had boulder shoulders, he had the tiny waist, he had the one of the most impressive physiques I've ever run across.
His back was shallow, that's where he lost it.
I'd actually been around Kevin for years back in the 90s. Now, let's go up to current. How did he do the show? Did he accept the challenge, or did he just say,
I think he just said, fuck it, I'm doing it. Honestly, between you and I think he did the same reason I started competing. I think he wanted to sell more goddamn supplements.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not hating on that. Hey, if you're willing to diet and fucking get ready for a show to promote your supplements, it's better than these corporate hacks. I'd rather see that than a fucking guy just get more investment money. More power to you, Kevin. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, we love you, Kevin. We definitely
But
do.
in the 90s, Kevin was the fucking man. I'll tell you what. I've seen some posts like Kevin now came out like, oh, I had a knee injury. And it's like, and this is where I kind of lost a little bit, but I didn't because I still love Kevin. But he's like, oh, he had a picture of him at the doctor and someone pointing at an x-ray of some fucked up knee shit. He's had a picture of him with a bruised pec, like, oh, I hurt my pec too. Okay, here's the deal. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm going to fucking say it. 2 years ago when everybody thought that Kai beat Phil, let's just say that Phil had an issue.
Let's just say,
hypothetically, but Phil did not even after the show when haters were going crazy say it, because when you get on the Olympia stage, when you fucking step on that stage,
you're going to get the best in the world.
It doesn't matter like what happened leading up. It matters how you look. Phil knew he was off. He knew he wasn't at 100%. He barely beat Kai, but there was a reason, and even to this day, y'all don't fucking know the reason. I know the reason. Y'all don't know it. But Phil didn't go and blame his placing or he won. Blame his look on anything. So here's my thing. Kevin, I love you. I don't give a fuck where you placed. I don't give a fuck if you had a hangnail or if your fucking knee got decapitated, fucking, and you had to sew it back on. Once you get on that Olympia stage, you commit that is your best. Whether you're injured or not, there's no excuses. Dorian did it with a goddamn torn tricep. Yep. So just because you placed dead last, don't be pointing at injuries now. Now you're looking like a crybaby. I know I'm on your fan. I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan of Kevin, but I'm also real. Dude, I'm a fan. And all your fanboys are like, yeah, we're so proud. I'm disappointed. Because you know what? Who gives a fuck if you were injured? You got on stage. I don't care if you couldn't squat. Your legs still looked like, honestly, those legs wouldn't have won a regional show. Your upper body, fuck, it was amazing.
Yeah,
his upper body. But dude, those legs, honestly, you would have done better just saying, fuck, I injured myself. I'm out. People would have called you a bitch, but when you get on the Olympia stage, which I don't belong, and I don't even belong in the arena. You know, I'm not even at that level.
We're not worthy.
But I mean, dude, when you step up against Phil and fucking Rami's legs are like bigger than this fucking office.
Both of us put together.
You cannot get on stage with legs smaller than mine. And I'm sure they're smaller than mine because they look smaller than mine. Like they were stringy. And I'm not discrediting. I'm just saying, look, Kevin, you got beat. Stop the excuses. That's all I got to say. But he deserved that last place. I mean, I'm glad they didn't give him a gift for. But goddamn, what I'll say about Levrone, and then I'll shut up because I'm kind of rambling right now. What I'll say is, first of all, he looked amazing.
He did.
For 52.
For 52, extremely amazing.
And
however, not
second
an
of all,
Olympian stage.
No, but second of all, God bless his heart, because if it wasn't for him, this was the slowest expo I've seen since 1999 when the Mr. Olympia was held in Long Beach, California.
Yeah.
This Olympia, from a business standpoint, was a flop. It was a fucking joke. And it would have been even more of a joke if Levrone hadn't breathed life into our lifeless sport. A sport that's confused because we have classic physique, men's board shorts, we got fucking bikini, fitness, physique. I don't even know what show I'm watching anymore.
Men's thong.
Yeah, it's gotten really out of hand. And I think that what we've done is we've helped regional shows because more competitors, more family members, more tickets sold.
But
I think we've
monetization.
I think we've completely killed the pro ranks because nobody knows what anything is.
Mm-hmm.
But
you got 10 of the best bodybuilders in the world, and you got 1 billion board short guys or physiques or classic or whatever it is.
And it's helped the sport, but on the professional level, numbers are numbers, and the Olympia was a disastrous failure. And this coming from someone who paid to be there. Mm-hmm. I mean, I paid money to have a booth there. The expo usually, like at the Arnold Gym, the Olympia was a fail, and that's because they didn't promote it enough. But thank you, Kevin Levrone, for giving people an opportunity and a reason to go and watch that show.
Let me input something real quick, Mark. For conversational purposes, if someone like yourself or myself qualified for a certain show and then we exited our qualification by not competing for a certain amount of time, would you feel maliced that you would have to go requalify for that event?
Precisely. And this was breakfast
Just a question.
I couldn't, breakfast conversation. We had this, and I honestly think that being that he's been out of the game for 13 years.
And it happened to me and you.
Yeah, I think
my qualification ran out and I had to requalify.
You should have to do the NOC or something. And is there any, whatever the fucking, you should have to do a Europa
I
show.
had a champion. What are you talking about? That was over in like 90 something.
I'm fucking old. but he should have to do a pro show like Europa Texas or Europa whatever.
That's my thought. I really think that he should have had to requalify. God bless him for being the greatest in the 90s.
God bless him for looking that good at 52.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have qualified even with bigger legs. I just think the guys these days, you got Dallas McCarver, look at the guys who didn't qualify. Mm-hmm. You got all these great bodybuilders who would wipe the stage with him. And even I think he would agree with that. And it was great. It brought attention to his supplement brand, which is why I started competing. So I'm not hating at all. Mm-hmm. But as a fan, as a guy who, it was kind of like when Jordan came back for the Wizards and he was still above average, but he wasn't Michael Jordan. Did it hurt Jordan? No. I'll still remember the Kevin from the 90s. Mm-hmm. But what sucks is that these kids who didn't see him in the 90s and the early 2000s, like 2003 when he was amazing, and they're going to go look at that and they're going to be like, what the fuck, these 90s guys? It's
You're
kind of
only as good as your last envelope, seriously.
Yeah,
So hang it up when you should hang it up.
Or
Not
requalify.
Kevin. Or requalify.
Or do Masters Olympia.
Remember the Masters Olympia? They don't have that anymore.
They don't. Shit.
I don't think so. Did
Damn.
you see the Masters Olympia?
That's because all those old guys are dropping dead. Well, yeah, Don Youngblood, who died pretty early from
42,
that.
I believe.
He looked
is what
amazing
was,
too. He looked
Vince
good.
Taylor was the one that actually got them to stop being able to compete in both because he was in the top 5 in both and winning the biggest purse.
Yeah, and these guys are getting old. Dexter's 46 now, 47.
Yeah. Oh, he would sweep the Masters.
But he's
Olympia.
third place in the Olympia this year. So what I'm saying is, I thought the top 4 placings were good. I thought they did a good job. As for after top 4, I don't even care. I don't even know who was past that. I'll fucking.
Not that we don't care. We just didn't.
You know, look good. Rolly looked great. Rolly looked amazing.
He was the largest I've ever seen him in his entire life.
Dallas was not as good as he was at whatever show the Europa he just did.
He looked better 3 weeks ago.
Well, he was actually I think he was a bit out of shape for him. But then again, this guy's just a monster. He was 300 pounds like 3 weeks ago. The guy's a
300
monster.
and shredded. Yeah.
There's a lot of good up and comers. So if I was Phil, I'd go back to the drawing board and keep bringing better because he brought his best package to date, I believe.
I read something that he wrote basically that Ronnie Coleman was at his, I don't know, in 30-something years old and still had 4 or 5 or 6 Olympias to go, and he's not even that old, and he's got 6 under his belt. He said he wasn't hanging nothing up yet. So you guys look out for Phil. You got to train to beat Phil.
Yeah, but other than that, man, no hate on Levrone. I just think that he should have just been like, yo, I gave it my all. That's what I got. It's on the Olympia for letting him go. But let's not play the injury card, man, because nobody cares. It's what you brought to that stage that day. And he posted like, I didn't want to like say anything going, no, hold on. I think there's more honor in going and saying, look at my chest. I tore my pec. I'm out. And honestly, like he hasn't been like Sean Ray said this. I actually watched this in an interview on Generation Iron. I drive a lot, and Sean Ray's like, you see Kevin, he's 52 years old and he's benching 405 again. And but that's fine for you, right? But Kevin took 13 years off of training.
Yeah, he was in a rock band.
And here's the thing, what an insult it is, kind of, to come back and say, I'm going to win this in 6 months when you haven't been training for 13 years prior to those 6 months, when all these other guys have been grinding for years trying to gunning for Phil. I'm just saying, it's kind of poetic that he tried to cram it all in 6 months. I don't think it's inspirational. I almost think it's a testament to genetics and not hard work. He put in 6 months of hard work.
Yeah.
You got someone like Dexter who's put in 30 years of hard work.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm just saying, it is inspirational on some level. On another level, I look at it as almost an insult to those who grind every day.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. And this is, look, I love Kevin. I'm the biggest Kevin Levrone fan there is. But I'm just giving my object. Like, I was almost disappointed when I saw that. When he's like, I'm injured.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no, you didn't do the injury card.
Yeah, I feel the same. I really do.
Don't do the injury card, man. I've had ouchies for shows, probably just as bad as him. And I've looked off. I've looked terrible. And I've just been like, yep, I fucking sucked.
Yeah.
I got to get better, back to the drawing board.
My very last show, when I stopped competing, when I quit, when I said, I'm hanging it up, I'm not going to compete ever again, I was already starting to do a lot of guest posing appearances, which was way more monetarily beneficial than to pay so much money to compete. I got kind of comfortable walking on stage at about 250, 255, and I didn't diet as hard for my last show, thinking everybody was standing up and cheering for me when I was guest posing. But when I walked out on stage next to somebody that was shredded, they booed me. I didn't get booed, but I got second place. If I'd have dieted a little bit more, if. I think that I did the same thing, sort of like, well, I'm guest posing, so, why do I started to play that card, and I thought, you know what, no, I don't need to make excuses, I need to quit, and I did, and I haven't stepped on stage since.
Sometimes quitting is the best thing. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Comment down below, what's your opinion? If you disagree with us, we're saying this as spectators. We both know that we are not good enough to compete in the Olympia. At least I do. Big J might be good enough.
No way.
I'm not even close. I'm not even an IFBB pro. I'm not even at that level. So I'm just going to say that this is just us speaking as fans, spectators, and people who are involved in the sport who know these guys.
As former competitors as well.
Exactly. So thanks for watching, guys. Big J's channel. Link down below. Subscribe to it now. Chime in down below. Let us know what you think. That's not a game.